Good morning, folks. Snapzilla Gorilla, aka The Definition, hitting y'all with another video. Just FYI, just so you guys know, and for anybody that I'm a mod for, I'm going to be changing my YouTube name to The Definition of Anarchy. Okay? I'm taking that bold step. The Definition of Anarchy. Okay? So pretty soon, that will be my new channel name, and that's what it is. You know, I'm just transitioning into a new name, moving full-fledged into freedom and unadulterated, uncompromising freedom. So, the Definition of Anarchy, look out for that. Because I'm going to be using Snapzilla Gorilla for other channels, and I want to kind of keep those channels kind of separate from this channel right here, because this is going to be my controversial shadow ban channel, you know. So anyway, moving along. So yesterday your boy put out a video, me, right, of a young woman, a nurse, who was giving her testimony about how the patients are being treated at these hospitals, at the hospitals she's working at. And, you know, she said a lot of things that made sense. But apparently she's working in a black neighborhood. So this hospital's in an impoverished black neighborhood, and she mentions several times about, you know, the blackness of the people in that neighborhood. And she even says that, you know, she tried to contact a couple of black power groups. She said that 2 times. The first time she said she said that she was reaching out to black advocacy groups, and then the second time she said black power groups. And then she was talking about how black people are dying or getting shot right out front of the hospital. And you know, some people, a lot of people, okay, because I spoke to several people about this video, a lot of people got offended about how she was speaking about black folks, and I completely understand that. I completely understand. But we have to remember, she's not black, okay? So she's not black, and she's working in a hospital in a black neighborhood. She can't help but notice that. And she can't help but notice the aloofness of these doctors and nurses that are treating these black people, how they're just treating them like they ain't nothing, right? But as opposed to if you go to UCLA Hospital or Cedars-Sinai, then things might be a little different. You know what I mean? I think that's what she was pointing out. I don't think she was shitting on black folks. And as far as her saying black power group, I think she was just saying that because she was frustrated, right? I can't speak to her intent. None of us can. I don't think she's racist, right? I think she was probably frustrated by saying black power group, because maybe she was being sarcastic, like, oh, you're supposed to be a black power group, but you're not doing anything about the black folks dying in these hospitals. That's what I took from it, okay? Well, was it tactful? No, it wasn't. But when you listen to everything else she's saying, when you see the pain in her eyes when she's talking about this stuff, and the fact that she's doing this, so let's say she's a nurse. Let's say she's full of crap. Let's say she's lying about how these people in this hospital are being treated. Why would she do that? Why would she risk her job in her deck to lie about something like that? If anything, if she wanted to lie about the treatment of the people in that hospital, she would say, oh, they're being treated real well. She would be talking about how she would be doing what other nurses are doing out there in regards to how they're treating, or how they look at the how they're telling us about the validity of the virus, and how, you know, she'll be doing a little different. I think she'll be going along with the narrative that the hospitals and the government are giving so that she can secure a job, so she would stick her neck out. Now, there were some good questions asked about the video. Why is she still working in that hospital? Why would she continue to work in that hospital and continue to contribute to, essentially contribute to the deaths of these individuals by sticking around and not doing anything about it? Well, you know, that's a great question. But I believe she's doing more than a nurse who didn't speak out is, by actually speaking out and telling the world about it and risking going viral to tell people about this whole situation. That's what I get from it. Yes, she did work in that hospital, and she did do what she did. She did witness all these things happening and continue to work at the hospital. Yes. But you have to understand, when you're working in a medical field, right? In a Western medical field, and you're working in a hospital, there are certain protocols, there are certain things, ways you have to do things in that hospital, right? So they're not going to give you natural herbs. They're not going to give you vitamin C. They're not going to do all that. Their whole thing is to push drugs. Okay? Because remember, over 250,000 people die because of medical malpractice every year. So this ain't nothing new, right? Medical malpractice every year. 80-something thousand people die from an overdose on pharmaceutical drugs. Okay? So when you look at that, why not? I mean, this is something that goes on. They're taught that they're to give people drugs that may kill them. They know the risk. These drugs are tested, and yet they're being put out there by the pharmaceutical industry. They're allowed to be put out there by the FDA and all these administrations that are supposed to make sure that we're not being given poison. The CDC, all these groups have been pushing drugs onto people through the pharmaceutical industry, through the medical industry, through the medical field for decades. And yet these doctors and these nurses continue to work in this setting and work in these hospitals and continue to use the protocols and the drugs and all this other stuff that they're told to use by the National Institute of Health and the board and all this other stuff. So my thing is, yeah, she did sit there and watch it go on. She was implicit, but she spoke out. She spoke out, which is not what a lot of people are doing. But I have healthcare workers telling me stuff, but they're not willing to come out and talk to people about it because they're afraid. Okay, you're talking about your life is at risk. Your life is at risk. Your livelihood is at risk. How you gonna feed your family? All this other stuff. They've been in the medical field for years and years and years. This is what they know. So the fact that she came out in the first place, I say that's doing something. That's doing something, man. I mean, the video's going viral. No, was her execution, was her delivery perfect? No, it was not. But I got the message. I got the overall message, which is that people are being treated incorrectly for COVID-19. People's lungs are being blown out by these ventilators. They're using the ventilators on the wrong setting because that's what the NIH and the CDC told them to do. Oh, you have COVID-19? Oh, you're breathing funny and all this other stuff. Okay, let's throw you on a ventilator. And then let's put the ventilator on the setting to where it says that oh shoot, hold on, y'all. let's put the ventilator on the setting to help your lungs perform its job. When your lungs are working fine, you're just not getting the oxygen. You know, you're not getting the oxygen. You're not getting your hemoglobin is not binding to the oxygen. It's not that your lungs aren't working. Your lungs are working, right? It's like altitude sickness. That's what a doctor likened it to. But this is what these doctors are being told to do with these ventilators. Okay? Now, I spoke to one healthcare worker yesterday, and this is what this individual told me. He told me that he overheard a doctor and a nurse, okay, and they were talking about these COVID-19 patients, right? This individual got transferred to a COVID-19 floor, okay, and he was so this nurse and the doctor was dealing with COVID-19 patients, and he overhearing them talking, and one nurse is saying, these people just want to go. They want to go, and we're not letting them. They want to leave. They want to get out of here. Meaning, they want to die. Because the treatment they're receiving is doing more damage than it is doing good. Okay, and then this is what the doctor said. He said, yes, we're torturing these people. That's what the doctor said. On this COVID-19 floor, dealing with COVID-19 patients. So when I hear something like that, that just confirms what this young lady is saying. I don't care, me personally, I don't care that she's talking about black folks like that. You know, she's working in a black neighborhood. That's what she said. That's true. That's a fact. She called some black power groups. They might have actually been black power groups. And they, you know, these groups, they say black power. I don't know. What I'm saying is, I'm not focusing on that. I'm going to take what she said. I'm going to take the validity of what she said. I believe what she's saying. Does she have proof? No, none of these people have proof. Unless they start going around hint with a hidden camera to show us what's really going on. If there's a brave enough soul in these hospitals working these COVID-19 floors, if they have the heart and the bravery to wear a hidden camera, that would be useful. But if I'm hearing this doctor say this on this coast, and I'm hearing that doctor say this on this coast, if this nurse is saying this and this nurse is saying that, and it all lines up and corroborates, okay, I think there's some validity to it. They're on the front lines, right? So that's what I have to say about it. Oh, and then the same healthcare worker was overheard. This one doctor told him that transferred from another hospital. Okay, he was a resident. Okay, a resident that was working at another hospital came to this hospital where this guy is working at, and he was talking about how there's this drug, right? It's not adrenaline, but there's this drug that they can administer to people whose hearts stop, right? Whose hearts stop, and it's supposed to help bring the heart back online. Okay, and this resident said that this guy was coding, meaning that they were going to a cardiac arrest. This guy was coding, and he was like, oh, let's give him this drug. Let's see if his heart can take getting this drug. We can, you know, blah, blah, blah. And the doctor said, no, let him code a few more times. Then we'll give it to him. What was it? Let him code a few more times? Let him go, let his heart stop a few more times before we give him this drug. Excuse me. So, with no intervention, from what I understand, So this individual said, this resident said, no, the doctor didn't want any intervention. He wanted to see if his heart can get going again on its own. How is that gonna happen? If your heart stops, your heart stops. You need some type of outside stimulus to get your heart going again. So I don't know if they pulled the crash cart out and pulled the paddles out or whatever the case may be. But if this medicine, right, can get this guy's heart going, why would you let him essentially die a few more times before you give him this drug, right? And the resident was saying, man, that the attending doctor that told him no, let him code a few times, is a sociopath. And see, this is what happens when this is what happens when you rely on the system to do what's right by you, including the medical system. In the medical system, it's all about pushing drugs. It's all about keeping people just a little bit sick enough to keep coming back to you so that you can keep giving them drugs, which you might have an investment in. You might have stocks in this particular drug. These doctors own stocks in drugs. So if they own the stock in the drug, they give, the more they use the drug, the more money they're gonna make. This is how the medical system works here in the United States. I mean, so maybe this is a wake-up call. Maybe this COVID-19 situation is a wake-up call to healthcare workers all across the world and police officers. Maybe police officers can also begin to see that what they've been doing all this time goes against our freedoms, right? Because there's this one police officer that's speaking out against other police officers who are enforcing these stay-at-home orders and these restrictions and enforcing these arbitrary laws these mayors and governors are putting out there on a whim. So it is what it is, man. So that's my take on it, y'all. Yes, she was not tactful when speaking about the black people. Okay, she wasn't very tactful, but I wasn't offended. But I can understand how others might have been offended, and it is what it is. I'm just telling you that I took the overall message to mean that the healthcare system is doing what it's been doing. Only it's worse this time because this so-called novel coronavirus is brand new, and they're being told how to treat it, and it's not working. And they don't have the wherewithal or the mental acuity to go ahead and try some different things. So that it is what it is. Also, they're talking about how black folks there's a disparity between the deaths of COVID-19 patients and black folks as opposed to any other group. Okay, yeah. And if this is how these hospitals are treating black folks that go into these impoverished neighborhood hospitals, then that would go a long way to explaining why so many black folks are dying from COVID-19. Okay, that's my take. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Does what she's saying about the black folks, does that destroy her message, or is it just that, okay, she wasn't being tactful when speaking on it, but the overall message, the overall what you learn overall is the more important thing to focus on. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Yeah, like I said, I can understand how people can be offended, yeah. So y'all let me know what y'all think. If you guys know any healthcare workers or anything like that. I mean, because look, in my comment section when I put the video up, people were talking about it. That's how it is. And that's how it's been since before COVID-19. Maybe it's just so widespread now because of the new, like I said, because it's new, that it's just a lot more glaring, a lot more obvious. So anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll holler at y'all later. Much love to y'all. Hit that like button. Share this video, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Anyway, I'll holler at y'all later. Peace out.